Well, Prince Harry's fiancée Meghan Markle has let some pretty big news slip while the couple were attending the Invictus Games trials in Bath over in the UK.
Former Buckingham Palace press officer Dickie Arbiter joins us now from London. And Dickie, the big news, they're coming to Australia.
Yep, barring any mishaps, they're coming to Australia when you host the Games in October, the end of October. Interesting, isn't it? Because last year the Games were in Toronto, and that's where Harry confirmed, not verbally, but physically, that he and Meghan were an item. They were just boyfriend and girlfriend. They come to you in October as husband and wife, so you got the first bite of the cherry.
Dickie, you and I used to talk about a great manner of things when I was living in the UK, especially in the lead-up to...
We did indeed.
Well, especially in the lead-up to Will and Kate's wedding, namely our cricketers, who were doing quite well at the time. Anyway, I digress. Now, there is a honeymoon period.
We won't talk about the cricket.
There is a honeymoon period.
Because you guys cheat.
That's going down another avenue there. Look at him, he's loving this, isn't he, Dickie Arbiter? Now, Dickie, there is a honeymoon period that Will and Kate especially had, and then Harry and Meghan are going to have the same thing. I mean, how long does that really last when the world just can't get enough of them?
It's quite a long time. You know, Harry's a different kettle of fish to William. William is number 2 in line to the throne. His role is very different constitutionally. Harry is a bit more of a free agent. He does things very differently. He's very tactile, like his mother was. He's very hug. He's very selfie. So they do things differently, and I don't think people will get enough of Harry and Meghan. They'll have to get enough at one stage because hopefully Meghan is going to fall pregnant and she's going to disappear from the scene for a while. But I don't think anybody's going to get enough of them because Harry is just a different person.
I mean, Meghan already hinted at an event recently that something about having babies. Is that what we're all going to be fixated on next, once this wedding's out of the way next month? We'll be constantly looking at her stomach?
Yeah, Ali, I think we'll be chomping at the bit for that one because, let's face it, Meghan is 37 this year, so, you know, with all due respect, the clock is ticking. Harry is desperate for a family. He's always wanted a family. He adores his nephew and his niece, and whatever the next one is going to be, he'll adore that one too. You know, you've got to remember that he came from a split home with his mother living in London, his father living in Gloucestershire, both parents never living under the same roof, and he and William were shunted between the two. So he wants to create a family. He's desperate for a family. He's desperate for children. He'll be a great father. Meghan would be a great mother, I'm sure. But he'll also carry on his very good work. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot more of them. They're going to be in Australia. And I think everybody, well, you better start dusting off your frillies because I'm sure you'll all be out cheering him on. I
mean, yeah, Dickie, I mean, Harry just seems, and they all do seem like quite genuine people, a genuinely nice guy. And you can see that through his work that he does for the Invictus Games. Why is he so passionate about that particular project?
He's been in the army. He's been an Apache helicopter pilot. He's been at the sharp end in Afghanistan twice. He's seen comrades lose limbs. He's seen comrades badly injured. And he feels that there's really not enough done in terms of the military looking after them after they've come out of the army. And the Invictus Games is a very good platform, like Walking with the Wounded, which he's a patron of, which he'll be launching Walking in America, which is happening later in the year. He's passionate about these people getting back into society. He's passionate about them contributing to society. And he's passionate about people accepting them and saying, hey, OK, you went to the army, you went to the Air Force, you went to the Navy, you got injured on our behalf for our safety, now we're going to look after you. And it's all about helping them get back into society. After all, the military is a family, whether you're in whatever service you're in, the Army, the Navy and the Air Force. Once you leave that family, you're actually on your own, and civvy life is nothing like the military, and it's very hard to adapt. And he's passionate about the Invictus Games and Walking with the Wounded because it actually helps these guys get back into society and get society to accept them.
And Dickie, we know that Prince Philip had surgery a few days ago, a hip replacement. Do you have any word on his condition in hospital?
No, Buckingham Palace are doing what they always do, and I was one of those who did it as well. When we've got something to say, we'll say it. He had the hip operation. He was very comfortable. Prince Philip is a very quick healer, and one of the things that he'll be doing in hospital is chomping at the bit, wanting to get out. But the only time in his life that he actually ever does as he's told, well, he did it in the Navy, but he has to do as the doctors tell him in hospital, and they'll let him go when they are satisfied and they are ready. But he is progressing, and we'll get a release or some word from Buckingham Palace as and when there is something to say.
Well, Dickie Arbiter, as always, got everything covered, even the cricket. Great to talk to you this morning, and look forward to the next Ashes series.
You too, Peter. Bye-bye.
Great
and
man.
Nice tie, by the way.
Yeah, he's a great man. He's a good man, Dickie Arbiter.
Prince Harry and his bride-to-be Meghan Markle have spent the day in Bath, where they've met with Invictus Games hopefuls. Live to 7 News Europe Bureau Chief Hugh Whitfield, who is in Bath. Hello to you, Hugh. Now, the couple will be heading to Sydney for the competition in October.
Sally, Meghan seemed to confirm as much when she was chatting with some of the Invictus athletes today here in Bath. Of course, the Invictus Games to be held in Sydney after Prince Harry started the Games back in 2014 for returned servicemen and women to help aid their recovery both physically and mentally after serving in various theatres of war. Harry and Meghan were at the university here in Bath today to take a look at the UK trials. Around 450 returned servicemen and women who are hoping to be part of the British team to go to Sydney in October. Meghan chatting to them, embracing some of them. They watched a running race, checked out some volleyball as well. And a lot of the athletes we spoke to are very happy with the spotlight the added spotlight that Meghan brings, not just with Prince Harry, that Meghan brings to the Games that has got everyone talking about them.
I give him a high five as we were coming past. Enjoyed it. It's one of the boys. It's really an inspiration to the whole country and the whole world.
So it's the first time I've met Meghan, so I introduced myself obviously, and we just had a chat, and she was asking about this weekend and what sports I was doing.
Meghan, of course, is familiar with the Invictus Games. Think back to last September when the pair made their first public appearance together at the Invictus Games in Toronto. So keep an eye out in Sydney come October for a newly married couple arriving on our shores. Sally.
I'm sure we'll be all over it. OK, thank you very much, Hugh Whitfield, there for us.
This is our little